What's going on, guys? Isaac here. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and a fantastic New Year. Today we're going to be tying one of my favorite wintertime flies. It is simple if you're just learning out how to fly tie or want to get into it. I definitely recommend tying this fly. It's basically just a different variation of a Walt's worm, or a sexy Walt's worm, because we're going to be putting some tinsel in for the ribbing. I'm not using different color thread as the sexy Walt's worm requires. Usually orange thread. I'm just using a brown thread here. The dubbing that we're going to be using is a natural blend olive dubbing from Orvis. We're going to be using a jig hook with a size 7/64 slotted tungsten bead. And for the lead wrap that I started here, so you guys don't have to watch me put on a basic thread wrap, or I'm sorry, lead wrap, is a 0.015. It is a good size to build that taper up to the that size bead. And then behind it, I just have a thread ramp. So when we go to wrap the tinsel doesn't, keep slipping off, because if we just had a tiny little thread wrap and went up to the lead, it would just give the fly an unbalanced look, and it'd be tough for that tinsel to get started when wrapping it. All right, so let's get started. So the tinsel that I'm using is medium size blue, ice blue. I like this tinsel because I think it provides just enough flash that it catches the fish's eye, where it's not, in your face flash like some of the flies might be in lower clear water, or if you're on a stream that's has some picky fish. Sometimes those fish don't like flies with flash, but this tinsel just gives a little bit of bounce for the fly. So you can go ahead and capture it. You don't have to get crazy. If you wanted to, you can wrap your thread all the way back up to the bead, and then wrap it all the way down to ensure that tinsel is going nowhere. Now, tinsel has a mind of its own. If you're anything like me and have my type of fingers, I have fat fingers, so sometimes I will use hackle pliers to wrap that tinsel around. All right, so now we're ready for the dubbing. The dubbing wax that I'm using is Wonder Wax. I love this stuff. It creates really tight looking flies. As far as when you go to dub, make sure that dub sticks on your thread and it beats using saliva. So just like with any flies, we want to keep our body pretty slim. If we give ourselves too much dubbing, just simply take some of the dubbing out. Okay, so after you've built your dubbing around the thread, go ahead and just give it some wraps back up towards the bead. All right, so once we've done that, we're ready for the tinsel. Now, when I go to capture that tinsel, I'll give it a nice hard one pull. That tinsel's not going to go anywhere when we go to capture it with our thread. So now I'm going to put on a little bit of head cement. I'm not going to whip finish this fly just yet, but I'm going to trim off my tinsel, and I'm going to put this head cement down. Now, I'm not going to take it because it's got an applier brush. This is Z-Men. I swear by this stuff. It's some really strong stuff, but I will apply it to the thread instead of just dabbing it right on the fly. And then I'm going to wrap around that tinsel that I captured. I used to skip this step and just put the fly cement on my whip finish, but what I found out was the smaller, toothier brown trout that would, eat this fly, they take that tinsel and just the tinsel would slowly just start to slip away and fall off of the fly, and then there goes the ribbing to the fly. So, you know, in order to solve that, when I go to capture it, I'll just put some of this cement on, and it seems to work so far. All right, so now I'm ready for my whip finish. Again, I just apply a little bit on the thread. Get my whip finish tool, or you can use your fingers at this time. Give it 5, pull tight. And that's it. I mean, this fly, I can remember back when a gentleman was teaching me how to tie flies, and he said, Isaac, there's flies that catch fish and there's flies that catch fishermen, and this is just one of those flies that simply catch fish. You know, necessarily I wouldn't walk into a fly shop and pay $2 for this fly, but it is very easy to tie. The materials aren't that costly. It's just dubbing, tinsel, and a hook, and you don't have to tie it on a jig hook. I like using jig hooks for most of my nymphs because they reduce snags on the bottom, and I really like tungsten beads, especially in the springtime when it's higher water. But this is a great wintertime fly. Like I said, it catches fish, simple to tie. So hope you guys enjoyed, and happy winter fishing.